Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're going to talk about unlocking a real superpower, how to use AI to actually, learn stuff, not just get answers. But before we jump into the how, we've got to understand why this is such a massive deal. And it all starts with this. Just one number and a symbol. But this little thing, it's been haunting the world of education for decades. It's called 2 sigma. Okay, so what is that? It's something called Bloom's 2 sigma problem, and basically, back in 1984, a researcher named Benjamin Bloom discovered something kind of staggering. He found that a student with a personal, one-on-one tutor performs 2 standard deviations better than a student in a regular classroom. Now, what does that even mean? It means taking a perfectly average 50th percentile student and turning them into a top-of-the-class 98th percentile rock star. For 40 years, being able to do that for everyone, well, that was pretty much a pipe dream.
And now, today, AI is promising to finally solve this problem for everyone at scale. But, and this is a huge but, there's a catch, a big one. If you use these incredibly powerful new tools the wrong way, you can actually end up worse at learning. Yeah, not better, worse. So let's dive right into what I call the AI learning trap. This is the big mistake that almost everyone makes when they first start trying to study with these tools. I love this quote. Using AI to skip struggle is like using a motorized scooter at the gym. It hits the nail on the head, right? It perfectly captures the core mistake we all make. We see this powerful tool and our first instinct is to use it to avoid the hard parts, to skip the struggle. But that struggle, that's the whole point. It's the heavy lifting that actually builds our mental muscles.
And when you do that, you fall into what learning scientists call the illusion of competence. You know that feeling? You ask the AI to explain something, and it gives you this beautiful, smooth, perfect answer. And you think, oh, okay, I get it now. It feels so easy, so productive. But here's the thing, that's not learning. That's just recognizing a correct answer. Real learning, the kind that sticks, well, it feels hard. It comes from active recall, from you having to drag the answer out of your own brain. So the whole game is to make a mental shift, a really crucial one. You have to stop thinking of AI as an answer machine that's just going to carry you to the finish line. And you need to start thinking of it as a thinking partner, something that's going to challenge you, poke you, and make you do the work. Okay, so how do we actually do that? How do you make that switch from being carried to being challenged? Let's get super practical. I'm going to give you a step-by-step protocol you can literally start using today to turn that trap into your most powerful tool. Okay, check this out. It's called the Struggle First Protocol. It sounds simple, but trust me, it's incredibly powerful. First, you have to attempt the problem on your own. Give it a solid 10-15 minutes. Then you articulate your confusion, like write down exactly where you're stuck. Step 3 is asking the AI a super targeted question about that one sticking point, not the whole problem. And finally, and this is key, after you get help, you close the chat and you try to solve it all by yourself from scratch. See what this does? It forces you to engage first. It makes sure AI is just a precision tool to get you over one little hurdle, not a helicopter to fly you over the whole mountain. And what's really cool is you can actually train the AI to be a better tutor for you. It's all in the prompts you use. Instead of just saying, give me the answer, you can use prompts like these. Try saying, don't give me the answer. Ask me questions that will help me figure it out. Or what question should I be asking myself right now? My favorite is, point out the flaw in my reasoning without telling me the correction. When you do this, you're flipping a switch. You're turning the AI from a boring old answer machine into a real Socratic partner. It's the classic teach me how to fish approach. And this isn't just some random hack, There's real science behind why this works so well. It's grounded in decades of research. A psychologist named Vygotsky talked about this thing called the zone of proximal development. That's basically the sweet spot for learning, where a task is just a little bit beyond what you can do on your own. Not too easy, not too hard. And a well-prompted AI is amazing at this. It can constantly adjust to keep you right in that perfect growth zone, always pushing you, but never so much that you just give up. So when you put it all side by side like this, the difference is just, it's night and day, right? The mistake is opening AI before you even try. The method is the struggle first protocol. The mistake is asking, solve this for me. The method is asking, hey, I'm stuck right here on step 3. Can you give me a hint? It all comes down to owning the process. You're still in the driver's seat. The AI is just your co-pilot, your navigator. It's your assistant, not your replacement.
All right. Let's bring this all home. I want to tie all these ideas together into one simple, super powerful rule of thumb you can take away from this.
And what's so powerful here is that this isn't some newfangled AI trick. What you're actually doing is supercharging proven, fundamental learning strategies that have been around for ages. You're forcing your brain to do active recall, to retrieve information, not just passively review it. And you're essentially using the Feynman technique, right? The idea that you don't really get something until you can explain it simply. By struggling first and asking targeted questions, you're forcing your brain to build the knowledge, not just look at it.
Look, if you only remember one single thing from this whole explainer, please make it this quote. Use AI to challenge you, not carry you. This one sentence, it's the master key. It unlocks everything. Every single time you go to open that chat window, just ask yourself that one question. Am I about to ask this thing to carry me, or am I asking it to challenge me? And that really brings us to the final, most important idea of all. This whole method is about reframing what difficulty even means. That feeling of struggle, of being stuck, that's not a sign you're failing. It's the exact opposite. It's the sign that your brain is actually working, that real, deep, durable learning is happening. That's the feeling you should be chasing. So the real question is, are you ready to embrace the struggle?